So let's finish up 11.1. I realized at the end of the last one I forgot to do all the things on the calculator, so we'll do that. And then we'll finish up on the rest of the content. So I'm here in the calculator, and I forgot to write the functions for the value of the vehicle points. Right? It's going to be equal to the calculate vehicle points function, and we'll pass it the annual vehicle miles. Okay. And then we'll set up the next one, which is the public transportation points value. Calculate public. There we go. Points. We'll pass it the annual public miles. Cool. Okay. Now, in this case, we haven't also added them, but we haven't completed all the helper functions that we needed for here. So let's go up now and do this helper function. And we'll come back because we have to do a couple things here. We have to add it, and then we have to include it here. So let's do that now. So we have the calculate flights points, which we're passing in the radio button value, the flight, to be flight, the argument coming in, flight, and then flight travel. So then we'll use a switch case. So on flight travel, what we'll say, so we'll say let's go down here. There we go. So I've already captured the but it's pretty short, literally. And then we'll, in this case, if it's short travel, right, we'll return 2. Now, again, if you want to remember where I'm getting this from, it's right here, right? If it's short, it's 2 points. If it's further, it's 6. And if it's other continent, it's 20. Okay, so now that I have this first one, I could say further. I wonder if I got the whole. Hope I didn't. Oh, I didn't. Okay, so in this case, it is 6. Okay, and then okay, and then if it's continent, not continental, although it could be continental. Okay, so if it's continent, in that case, it'd be 20. And do not forget, as I have at times, to do the default here. Default return 0. Okay, let's look at that and see if that looks good. For the most part, it does. We're passing in, we're returning, and now we can come down here now and do our last function, which is calculate flight. In fact, let me just grab it here. Flight footprint points will be from equal to calculate flight points, and then we'll pass in data.flight travel. Cool. And so now once we have those 3 values, we can come down here. We can hit add, and that would be vehicle points. We'd also do public transportation footprint points. Yep. Flight footprint points, and that would be the last one. And then here, right, we're going to add to our return object. So vehicle footprint, and in this case just footprint, would equal to the vehicle footprint points. And I got to be careful because this is where I've messed up before. So in this case, footprint. Oh yes, actually I ran into this. Oh yes, this was an error actually, because these should not have had footprints. Could have just been vehicle and without the footprints here. We don't include them here, right? We just want to, and therefore we need to change these as well. Okay, these are just the points. vehicle points. I could have done a find and replace. That would have been another way to do this. Good. Okay. So then, and the reason I caught that is that that has created issue for me in the past, and that's why naming these things consistently is really helpful. Okay, so vehicle points, right, and then public transportation, and in this case should be, because this is the one we're giving it, so when we reference it in our code, right, okay, so that's our return values. Good. Okay, so now we have our helper functions, we have our calculated points, we added all our points together to get our total, and then we have then returned object literal with our new keys and values. Recycle, I just want to make sure a public vehicle, oh actually it should be, I'm forgetting one here. So in this case we need flight points, flight footprint equal to flight points. And in this case, I gave this one the wrong one, no wonder. Okay, so this should have been public. And then points, yeah. Hopefully that's right. Okay, we'll find out. All right, so now we go over to results, right? So this is where we pick up from our form submission, right? We can pick up, I have already a submission here, but then I have the vehicle footprint, and I think I already have these, yeah. Vehicle, oh, I don't. Okay, good. Yeah, so I'll grab them here, okay? Good, so now we'll do the const vehicle footprint display equal to result container dot query selector. Okay. And then I'll come back and do, but in this case it would be vehicle footprint. I should probably go grab those to make my life easier. Okay, so constant now. So it's actually right here, points, right? Good, and then I can just grab, okay, equal to result, container, query selector, in this case public transit, or is it public footprint? I can always go over here and look, public transit footprint. Okay, good. So I have one more. Now I have the flight. What's the one here? Flight. Oh, not points. Just display. Oh. Okay. So flight footprints display equal to result query selector. Okay, so it'd be just flight. Yep, which I got off of here. Okay. Okay, so now I have referenced all those values, or those references. So now I can come vehicle display dot text content equal to. Right, so in here I could look at what they have. Right, so personal vehicle right here. I could grab this to make my life a little bit easier, but I don't want the whole thing because here's where I inject the result dot vehicle footprint without the display points. Okay. All right, so public transportation footprint text content equal to I guess I could have done this way before and maybe made my life a little. There's always ways you figure out, oh, you know what? How could I have made that easier? Results dot public, and all I want here is the footprint. Okay. And now I'm going to do flight dot text content equal. Oh, no, it's actually right here I want. Okay. Okay, so results dot flight footprint. Okay, so those are my displays for the results. Just going to take a quick gander to make sure. I feel like that's why testing is so important. And then we can look at the render. So on the table render, since we're using radio buttons now, we're going to end up modifying our format radio button values to include that those nice values that we want to show up. And in this case, we're just going to take them from, in this case, short, right? So we'll return, in this case, something that's a little more user friendly, like short. Again, you could make a case maybe it's not necessary, but user UI is always good to think about. Further, in case of return. Okay, those look good. So then I'd come down here where I'm doing. Okay, so now I have some TDs. I got 3 TDs I need to do. So I'd like to start with adding my Jesus. Okay. I could have made my life easier, right? And in this case, the first one that I need, I'm referencing the entry, the annual vehicle miles. Right, because in this case, all we're doing is placing into the table the actual annual vehicle miles key. Okay. On these two, we don't need to do anything else. Okay, because they're just values. Copy it down so I don't have to do the other one. Okay, so annual. Good. And so now on the last one, we're going to call the helper function that we just updated for the. Okay, so we'll pass that in. So we'll call the formatted values. We'll pass in the entry dot flight travel. Okay, because that's what's going to be on that key, and that should be it for that one. Oh, let's see if I had any errors. Oh, it's always fun. Okay, so I have an entry already in here. Oh, let's see. I've got flights undefined, so I'll need to check that. Let's see if anything else errored out. Okay. So it looks like, okay, so, I need to check that one. Looks like flights. Okay, so personal vehicle. Add it again. Fill those values just so I can remember what they were. Okay. Short distances within state. Was that a 0 on the return? Now I have to remember on here. Was it if it's short? We just wrote that one, didn't we? No, it should be returned short distances on a calculate flight. Should have returned. Okay, let's update that. Yeah, so that actually might be the same issue as this one right here. Good, that was a fun one. There was actually, the issue was back in the form handler. In the form handler, and let me just undo it so you can see it. On the form handler, on the return, I had radios here and it should have just been travel. And once I did that, it worked fine. So check your code, make sure it works. So in this case, I just entered another one so I'd have some more data to look at. And so I edit here and I'll go back and look, make sure everything's in. So I put in some values. Let's do far away. Okay, 20 points, which is the largest one. And in this case, good, continental. Okay, good, continent. Perfect. That looks good. Okay, let's see here. I've updated, created the table. I tested everything. I got the display results. I think I got it all. All right, so finished transportation. Can't say I'm not disappointed to move on to other things, although this was good reminders and at times also testing our troubleshooting, mine too. Always good to learn how to troubleshoot code. It is definitely part of, especially in the age of LLMs, because part of what happened was some of the code that was generated that I had been looking at was actually in error. So always fun. All right, submit your commit history, and we'll move on to other topics. Form validation.